Most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life. So many people today are barely surviving work, not truly living through it. People are burnt out, disconnected, working in silos, and often questioning whether their work actually means anything. But what if workplaces didn't have to be that way? What if workplaces could become a place where people grow, thrive, enjoy working, and be happy and sharing their happy stories when they're back home? Welcome back to the Neelima Davuluri Show. Our guest today is someone who has spent over 20 plus years in the human resources and organizational development, helping leaders and organizations create healthier, more meaningful workplaces. She brings not only a wealth of leadership experience, but also deep lived experience and human understanding into the work she does. Author of Make Work Meaningful, How to Create a Culture That Leaves a Legacy, host of the Ways to Change the Workplace podcast, leadership coach, speaker, and a global consultant. Please welcome the wonderful Prina Shah.
Neelima, thank you so much.
Thank you, Prina, for being on my show today. I love and absolutely admire the work you do, and I am so happy that we are having this conversation today here.
Same.
Firstly, let me start by recollecting the conversation we first had when I first reached out to you and told you about my podcast and explained to you about the work I do.
Yeah.
And invited you to be a guest on my show.
Yes.
I remember the very first question you asked me was, what is your why?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you do this podcast? I'm so glad you asked, because no one ever asked me this question. Oh. So I'm so glad you asked. But today, let's talk about your why.
Okay.
What is your story? Who is Prina Shah? What's her story? And why does she do what she does?
Whew, that is a big question, Neelima. Okay, I'm Prina Shah. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I was born in Kenya, second generation African. I am of Indian descent. I was then brought up in the UK. So my formative years were in the UK. I studied, I got my degree in the UK, and then I fell in love with an Australian, and here I am.
That's nice.
But in terms of my upbringing and, the big question that you've asked me, all of us are impacted by, I guess, our parents in so many different ways, some way or another, right? So what I can tell you is that my dad was an alcoholic when I was growing up. And that was interesting in the sense that it has developed me like you cannot believe in many, many ways. So as an individual, I'm the elder daughter. So I took on the role of protector of my sister. There was a lot of domestic violence happening at home, that kind of stuff. And I saw the Jekyll and Hyde kind of behavior of my dad. So when he was in his good phase, when he wasn't drinking, when he was sober, perfect. And I was daddy's girl, like he was everything. However, when he was drunk, it was a different personality, it was a different person. So I learned early on from a young age how to read people, Neelima.
Wow.
Because you have to. Hypervigilance is something that I learned. Now, hypervigilance can be a good thing or a bad thing. As a young person, I was constantly hypervigilant. It's like looking over your shoulder, like what's going to happen next, what's going to happen. I was always on alert.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be now. But sometimes my body is still like that, just naturally, because of the fact.
Mode,
exactly so. But I think the characteristics that gave me was I can really read people quite well, I feel. I can deeply connect with people, I believe, myself. And, there's things like, you just know. So you could hear the door, like him putting the keys in the door.
And you're scared and ran away?
No. I knew whether he'd be drunk or not. And then I knew immediately, okay, this is a Prina I need to be, or no, this is a Prina I need to be.
Wow.
Yeah? So from an early age, I guess I was trying to understand human nature. And then, so the other thing that really happened was we moved from Kenya to the UK. So I was around 8 years old when that happened, 7, 8 years old. And my dad, he was a general manager in Kenya, so like a prestigious role, that kind of stuff. Got to the UK and who are you?
Yeah.
You don't have experience.
Yeah. So that was his side of story as to why he became an alcoholic. And
well, he was always an alcoholic even before that.
Okay.
There was, family trauma. He lost his mum at a young age and held on to that, and he didn't deal with his stuff. And that generation, they don't do head work, and there wasn't much support. In my dad's time as well, there wasn't any kind of support in terms of rehabilitation, counselling, even that kind of, offering. Now I'm really glad that that's there. But where I was going with that is that he had to, his identity was with his job. Like many of us, you're a lawyer, come on, identity and a job, they're two things. When your identity is impacted so negatively from a workplace perspective or from that job perspective, you take it home.
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't only take it home, though, Neelima.
Yeah, there's this ripple effect you talked about in
exactly,
your book. Yeah.
Right? So your community feels it. And then wider effects, society starts to feel this as well. So it's not just the individual. So one thing I learned about work from a young age is the connection that my dad had to it. So that's how I learned about work, So I would ask anybody listening today, okay, any one of our listeners today, think back, take yourself back to your childhood. What are your parents' stories of work? I'm telling you, that's impacted you. That's formed who you are, some way or another, guaranteed. My partner talks about, he's got a beautiful story about looking out of the window, and his dad was always going to work abroad. So work for him meant like no family. Work is something that takes people away.
You start to frame stories in your head.
Around that work, yeah. So then my story around work was that it didn't suit my dad. It really broke him. It broke him as a personality. There was alcoholism prior to work, but, the other thing I talk about at length as well, Neelima, is, spoiler alert, we're all going to die, right? But we have to do this thing where we give our time for money to a workplace.
Yeah.
We have to make it meaningful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have to make it meaningful, right? So we're going to be working probably until, whenever our retirement age is. We're going to be working until we're old, I tell you.
Yeah.
We have to make it meaningful.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, there's no joy. If the joy is ripped out of your life. Yeah. And for example, I've been working for 25 plus years.
Yeah. It's a long time,
My
right?
podcast gives me joy.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
I cannot watch for that for my workplace or the work. Sorry.
No.
But I don't know. I don't know why there is so much importance given to the job titles, the designations, and I think people are at a stage they're so focused about climbing the corporate ladder,
yes,
and not paying actual attention to, is this actually the outcome is giving joy, or is it producing any favorable results to the organization and even your families, your communities.
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing by trying to sabotage someone?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go into that then. So most of us are institutionalized, is what I'd call it, from a workplace perspective, right? You're trained in the way. So there's a hierarchy, there's a vision, the mission, the values, there's your KPIs, there's all of that kind of stuff, right? So we're kind of like little robots for the workplace. And like any other company you're going to go to, I'm sure their values are going to be similar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So why do you think there's not so much emphasis on the organizational and change culture in today's age and generation, where it has to be even more? Because post-COVID, people became so restricted to staying at home and not mingling with other people and being siloed, not being social enough, not having face-to-face meetings. So in today's generation, I think it's even more important to have that kind of organizational structure, culture, and change practices in place.
Yes.
So you do a lot of work in that space.
I do.
So what is your experience? What has it been? What's the appetite like from the organizations?
I'll tell you my corporate story and why I quit and why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Okay, sure.
In answering that.
Yeah.
So my corporate world, okay, I worked in organizations organizational culture change and human behavior change. So I've worked hard.
Yeah, you also have a bachelor's in psychology and sociology.
You've done your homework. Yeah. So let me go back. Go back and then I'll come back to corporate. So I was really impacted by my dad and this push and pull that he had with work and his identity. Yeah. And I noticed around, everyone has a linkage to their work of some sort. So I was really interested, even at a young age, in observing, especially my papa. Why you like this? What's this? Why?
Yeah. Asking
why?
the why.
Yeah, always asking why. So then I studied a degree in sociology and social psychology. I first studied sociology at A-level in the UK, and it just opened my mind up like you would not believe. And then when I got a job, I got the best job at British Telecom in a graduate program. And, we got rotated around different parts of HR, and all around the UK is where I went for that job. And I learned that work wasn't working at that stage. I was like, shit, I'm a graduate and this is what I've just seen now.
Yep.
So my promise to myself was to work damn hard to learn every single thing in terms of organizational culture and human behavior change now that I'm in the workplace, get lots of experience in lots of different industries, upskill myself so that I can break out eventually. Okay. And that I've been working in the corporate world for 20-something years. And the pandemic came and I was working part-time at that time and side hustling with my own business, all approved by corporate and everything. So ticking all of the right boxes. During that time, I really saw people panicking from a workplace culture perspective, especially, right?
Was it in the UK, in the media industry? Okay.
No, Australia. Yeah. At that time, it was state government I was working in.
Okay.
And I had lots of ideas. I'm full of ideas. I've got brilliant ways to change the workplace. So I'm full of, all of the great stuff. I would be taking my ideas, my proposals to my manager, to the executive. And most organizations, this is what I found, are quite risk averse. Oh, no, Prina, great idea, but. I was always hit with a but. We can't do that. So, Prina, let's get a consultant in just to consult to find out if that is the way we should go. So then the consultant would come in, I'd talk with them, I'd share my ideas, because I've heard, I know what's happening on the ground. And then, I'd tell whatever to the consultant. Once they recommended exactly the same thing, that was approved.
Yeah. So the credibility comes if someone else says the same idea.
Exactly.
Not if you said it.
Yeah.
So what is the reason? Is it, I don't know, what is the word? Is it women of color or is it just
I think it's beyond that. I think there's a real reluctance of executive to really take on something unless a consultant tells them.
Okay. So what's the weightage on the consultants? Why do you think they would buy if it comes from a consultant?
I don't know what credibility executives put on a consultant, but if someone else recommends blah, blah to them, it just seems to have more kudos. So I thought, bugger this, I will be that consultant. And I am now, as you've seen. Yeah. And I'm working with the best. Thank you. So I am that consultant. And you've probably seen, I can't talk about a lot of the people that I work with, but I will give I work with people at the helm of their, at the apex of their career or, anywhere in between or starting off as well. So job titles, I'll give you job titles, but not names.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Director General, Deputy Director General, the Commissioner, the President of. Then I work with, people who work in community development, people who work in not-for-profits, people who work in finance, people who work in the legal world as well, and everything in between. But a lot of the people that I work with, I can't give their names because of the fact that they're doing the deep work. Yeah. They're doing the deep work that I didn't get to do with my executive because they were too risk averse too. Yeah. So now I feel like I found my tribe now that I'm my own boss. Yeah. And people who want to work on making work meaningful, they come to me now.
That's excellent. I'm actually connecting your story. You had a childhood trauma because your dad was alcoholic.
Yeah.
You were noticing patterns of emotional dysregulation and people not being valued at work.
Yes.
Instead of taking that pain and not doing anything about it, you learned about human behavior, you studied about it, and then you upskilled yourself. And now you're a change organizational change consultant who help organizations
Yes.
make people's lives better and
Yes.
create a positive impact. How wonderful is that? How you have taken your pain and trauma and pivoted it and then transformed it into something valuable that can give people meaning for life.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you for that. Not many people will have the courage and guts to do it, number one.
Thank you.
And number two is, I mean, if you're in pain, why would you think about learning something new skill and turn people around?
Oh.
I mean,
I can answer that as well if you're in pain.
Sure.
Neelima, my thing was always, there was stuff at home, always, like the drama that addiction brings, I cannot even start to describe.
Yeah. How was your mother, if I may ask? How did she cope with it?
She was depressed. She was broken.
So you didn't have support from either of the parents?
No. I was the parent for my
You were
for
the
my
parent.
sister. I had to grow up fast. So where was I going to go with that? So even with that, Neelima, you really see the impact that work has, on an individual. And from my perspective, I have been quite greedy in my career, I'll be honest. We have to get the accolades, you've got to climb the ladder, all of that kind of stuff. But one of the biggest things, one of the biggest shifts I had in my brain as well, and I'm going to quote myself, which I love. It's in my book, but I've got the quote. I was delivering a session to an amazing team this week, and I've just got a printout. So the missing piece, this is the quote from my book, the missing piece is your connection to the impact you aspire to make. It's not just about climbing the ladder, but understanding why you are climbing it and how your ascent can make a difference. It's about shifting your focus from personal gain to that collective good. So it's moving from success to significance. Yeah?
Wow. Moving from success to significance.
Yeah. And all of us are going to go through it at some time or another. And I know your audience, from baby career people to people who are out there in their career. So I guess if you're listening to this, I would ask you to consider whether you are the passenger of your career or the driver of your career. Now, sometimes I've had to be the passenger of my career.
Yeah.
And rightly so, okay? I give agencies to someone else to develop me, to upskill me, to teach me all of the brilliant things that I need to learn.
If you trust them, you give them the agency. Yeah.
That's a good point. If I trust them, that's a big point.
Yeah, but if you hold your someone else accountable for your career progression, and if they're not trustworthy, then you might not get ahead.
Good
anywhere.
luck. Good luck. Yeah. So you have to suss out who's who first.
Yeah.
And there's always allies in the workplace. You find those good people.
Yeah. How do you find the allies? So one thing I was reading a lot from your book as well.
Yes.
And then I also saw some of your shorts from your channel, the podcast channel. Yeah. And I really loved how you said the way you introduce people.
Yeah.
Speaks a lot about you, not about that person. So
exactly.
What are the traits or the qualities that you pick from that other person defines a lot more about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So that's very interestingly said.
Thank you. I'm trying to look for the good in people. And I've had good managers, I've had bad managers, I've had everything in between. But the good managers, they're good. They're in it for you. You know that they're going to support you. You can have an honest conversation. You shared some personal work stories about your work life with me. My work life, there has been moments where I've just thought, I'm going to quit. I'm done with this altogether in the early days before I did quit. And one manager especially, I walked into her room and said, I'm going to quit. I can't do this anymore. It's just too much. Because it just, pardon the French, but it just feels like we're constantly shoving shit up a hill and we're getting nowhere from a HR perspective. She closed the door, she sat me down and she said, Prina, how can I retain you? What can we do? That's when my voice started to truly come out. And that's when I knew we need to do stuff to make work meaningful. So that's when I went down the road of, and this is what she supported me with. So Beck is her name, Rebecca. She said, all right, so let's get you to study coaching. I was working for a not-for-profit at that time. We applied for a scholarship. I won the scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I started to learn coaching. I did my 350 hours with this not-for-profit. So I was giving back internally. And these brilliant people who are giving service to our community, they're amazing leaders as a result of being coached. So it's that pass it on mentality as well.
Yeah, paying it forward, yeah.
Frame it forward, exactly. Yeah. So find the right people, find the right leaders. But be honest. I think the more honest I am with people, the more honest people are back with me. So with my story as well, the other thing I haven't shared with you about my story is that I found my dad's, actually, trigger warning.
Yep.
Trigger warning about alcoholism, domestic violence, and death. For anyone who's listening, if you are impacted by this, I am going to be talking about death. I found my dad's body. I was with Mum. It was my final year. Came back home for Christmas. They were divorced at that time, happily divorced. They really got on still. And my dad, like me, is a foodie. He loves his food. So he used to come back home to Mum to eat. They had a good relationship at the end. It was a few weeks he didn't come home. And I was there for my winter holiday, for the break. So I said to Mum, okay, let's go to Papa's apartment and see what's happening. Knocked on his door, no answer. So then we walked outside and there was a little opening. And I saw his body.
Oh, man.
So he had choked on his vomit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And that's how he went. But Neelima, life is precious, and that's what kicked it into me. That was the biggest thing for me in terms of, fuck, I've really got to make my life meaningful. It's short. This person tried to do everything that he could for us, but because of mental health issues and whatever else that happened, he couldn't be himself. Addiction is a really strong and powerful thing as well. It just takes over a person. So you see the best in a person, but you see the worst.
Yeah, and especially when it happens to someone you're so close to, like your father. It's like the biggest role model in your life.
Exactly.
And you're at a tender age.
Yes.
So you do not know how to react or maybe how to support or whether...
That year would have been such a big year. So I turned 21, my sister turned 18, and my papa would have turned 50.
Oh, yeah.
So life is short, Neelima.
Yeah. So this kind of incidents make us question what is of value to you.
Exactly.
Your lovely children, your family, the happiness.
Yeah.
The small moments that brings happiness, climbing the corporate ladder and the success and bringing the stress and the trauma back home.
Back home. Yeah. Exactly. And while I was in the car this morning, I heard a really good song that I love by Soul to Soul. And the words go, what's the meaning? What's the meaning of life, right? What is the meaning of life? That's a big question that we should ask from a workplace perspective as well. Yeah. If I'm going to give all of my time to this thing that is a job, what is the meaning I'm giving to it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is
it's
why...
beyond work. Actually, it's your
work.
time. You see your precious time away from family.
Yeah,
I remember, just on this note, I had to go back to work third week after I delivered my child. I had a cesarean operation.
Wow. Third week,
because my husband didn't have a job at that time, and one of us had to work. And I was just fresh in Australia.
Wow.
And I've been applying for like 150, 200 plus jobs. And then I got this job and I just delivered my baby. It's third week into it. I just jumped and went to work. And these are our stories, the immigrant stories, which are so powerful and and so this is my precious time that I would have probably spent with my child.
Yeah. And you're still healing. And your body's still healing.
Yeah, my body is healing. Mentally, I'm not prepared, but I'm still here at work, giving my 100%, not just doing job for the sake of getting paid, but also giving my 100% because I really appreciate someone has given me my first job in Australia, my dream country, place where I always wanted to be.
Congrats, yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you gave me a job. I have to prove myself, my worth. I'm not going to take it easily that someone trusted me.
Yes.
So my 8 hours, I made a conscious decision. My 8 hours at work, I'm not going to check my personal email. I'm not going to do anything outside work related. I am just going to be present here.
Gorgeous.
Learning the workplace culture, learning the policies of this organization, how I can add value.
Yes.
And I was so happy doing that job.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. Work is not just work to get paid.
No.
But there is the other side of it where people are spending time away from their families.
Exactly. We spend more of our working day with random strangers at work than we do with our loved ones.
Yes.
It has to be a meaningful place.
Exactly.
And before we even started talking, can I just pinch that page back that I gave you? So before it's at the end of your papers. So before we even started talking, I asked you to define your legacy. So my legacy, I can read out to you. I wish to find decent ways to change the workplace so that people, their families, communities, and societies are happier and not impacted negatively by the crappiness of work that people take home.
Wow.
Right? That's my
beautiful
thing.
legacy.
Thank you.
Beautiful legacy.
Thank you. That's my thing. I mean, in my corporate days, my legacy was a different story as well. So this kind of activity, I've got a whole chapter on it, but this short activity. And that's why I asked you to define yours, and you reeled yours off beautifully, just in 2 sentences. Yeah. But I think every single person needs to do this because, like I said earlier, vision, mission, values, generally speaking, we can copy and paste to any organization.
Yeah.
But your thing, this is what gives you agency. This is what gives you power.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would like to repeat my legacy again in case if it wasn't captured on camera earlier.
I know. Let's do it.
So my legacy is when I show up at work, I want to be my authentic self, 100%.
Yep.
And if I believe that this is not something that I need to be doing here at work as a part of this job, then I would voice it out. I am not scared to voice my opinions. I will not shrink. I will just be myself. And the legacy I want to leave for other women there at work is to have your clear boundaries and do not be afraid to be authentic or have an accent or do things in a certain way that you're always used to do. That's your authentic self. You're unique.
Yep.
You're born that way. You don't need to change anything for someone else.
Exactly. How gorgeous is that? Now, let me take you to a work setting, Neelima, and imagine that there's this big team and they're already getting on. This is a team that I recently worked with, for example, which is why it's still fresh in my head. To get every single person in the team to do this kind of activity, oh my gosh, I tell you, it is life-changing from a work perspective. Every single person shares why they're here. One person wants to change the world in terms of becoming a humanitarian lawyer, for example. Another person wants to leave on their retirement and just leave all of the good stuff that they're working on. Another person wants to develop people and successors beneath them so that they can rise as well. Like, what is it about you? Why the hell are you spending all this time at work? We don't ask ourselves that. Yeah. And early me didn't ask myself that really properly either. But I think it's really worthwhile to ask it because this is your time.
Yeah.
And time is precious.
I know, 100%. After hearing to your powerful story as to what happened in your childhood,
you don't know what's going to happen.
Every minute is precious.
Yeah.
That brings me into a good segue into our next segment. I would like to talk about your book, Make Work Meaningful.
Yes.
We have been talking about it from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I want to say that what an absolutely lovely title you have chosen, Make Work Meaningful. So kudos to you, first of all, for the title.
Thank you.
And what does Making Work Meaningful book offer for people if they want to read it? And then what is it that they will get from reading this book? I know it, but I want to hear from you, the author of the book.
Oh, thank you. Here is the book. So what does it give you? First off, it's connection to yourself again, because I honestly feel that workplaces, unknowingly, they remove you from yourself. Okay?
Oh, that's a powerful statement.
So
What do you mean by removing yourself?
I've got a story in here of an amazing person, a whiz kid who got a job. And he got moved to Belgium for this job because he's just brilliant in making efficiencies, okay? And he saw everybody in this workplace coming in earlier, 7 a.m., whatever it might be, to come in and have breakfast. The organization provided breakfast for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah? Now, this person had, a clear remit to make efficiencies. And he thought that this breakfast time was a pointless waste of time. Why are we doing this? Blah, 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 blah. And he therefore cut breakfast.
Oh.
What do you think happened as a result? People didn't come in early. They didn't connect and collaborate with each other. The culture dropped. Silos started to happen. So the workplace actually brought him on to make efficiencies. So he was doing his KPI for the workplace perspective, right? If he had taken his time, if he had listened, if he had looked, if he had seen, well, they're actually working during breakfast time. They're actually talking.
Yeah,
they're actually being
team
really
building, right? Yeah.
Team building.
Getting
They're
to
actually
know
being
each
really
other,
efficient. Getting stuff done before they actually go to work officially. He could have kept breakfast, and his own professional brand was really affected as well, negatively, right?
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So the other thing I ask people as well is, yes, you are going to get trained. You are going to learn the best of things, but question everything. Question why. Why are you making this decision? Think about the bigger picture. So from a sociological perspective, you've seen, I've studied sociology and social psychology. What is the bigger impact? What's the macro impact? What's the micro impact of this? So the example of this person is that he was doing the right stuff, absolutely, from a company perspective. But he hadn't tapped in himself. What's the legacy that he wants to leave? Yeah, okay, you're going to be cutting whatever, breakfast, or, you're going to be making efficiency measures. And what's the point of that?
I'm actually wanting to ask you a question which might be a bit more contradictory to what we're talking here about the legacy. Yeah. Do you think it's actually needed to leave your legacy at work? I know you'll have a good answer to it, but my perspective, I'll tell you.
Go on.
So if you're doing your 9 to 5 and people don't care about what happens in your personal life, if you're off sick, they don't care to ask why you were off sick. Are you doing better when you turn up to the next day to work? They just ask, yesterday you were not here. What happened to this deadline? What happened to that deadline? Are you still on track, or are you going to work some extra hours? There's lack of empathy.
Yep.
So do you think we even need to leave a legacy at a workplace?
Ooh. Okay, I love you're poking me back. Okay, yes. So I would say even the cleaner in your organization needs to work out why the hell they're doing what they're doing. So let me take you back to organizational culture and all of the theories that I've been trained in. Unfortunately, these theories are by men who are probably white men in the 1980s, perhaps in the 1990s, consultants who haven't worked a day in the workplace.
Yeah.
They're just these rich consultants that I've been trained by, yeah? Brilliant. Good for them. However, if you then think about organizational culture, it's this thing that, it's out there. We see it, we feel it, right? But until we tap into it and what that means for us, there's no clear line of sight as to why I am here today, which fits into that bigger picture of why we as an organization or a team or a branch or division are doing what we're doing. So yes is the answer to this. Even like a cleaner can leave a legacy. So the example that I give is, once a cleaner works out why they're doing what they're doing, you will know, I am cleaning the floor today so that Neelima and the rest of the lawyers can be their brilliant selves to serve the people who really need help.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So it's finding your thing. Otherwise,
it's
I
your
feel
contribution, because even if you have house help,
it's your contribution.
Yeah, if they don't do the job, if you have a nanny, for example, they're looking after your child, so you can do your work properly at workplace without being worried about what happens to your child while you're away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why else should we leave a legacy? So poking back to you now, okay? Imagine you are having a really rough week at work. It's Sunday night and now Monday morning you wake up. What is that thing that's going to get you out of bed? It's your internal driver.
Yeah.
It is not your vision, your mission, your values. That doesn't mean anything to you in that Monday morning.
Yeah.
What is that thing that you want to do? you, for example, gave that example of to be your authentic self so that you can pass it on so that others can see you as a role model. Right?
Yeah. Because I've been in the workforce for maybe 25 plus years.
Yeah.
At this stage in my career, I think even if today also after 25 years I'm not authentic, then what did I achieve?
Yeah.
So I think that's my legacy.
Exactly.
I just want to be authentic and call out behaviors that I'm not comfortable with.
Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. Now, Neelima's legacy may have been different. So when you were, 3 weeks, you just given birth, to this beautiful baby. And now you're going into the workplace. The legacy that you were leaving there was to establish your family in this beautiful new country that you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah? So our legacy changes
over a period of time.
Repeatedly. During our different phases of life.
Different phases of life. Yeah, we evolve as human beings as well.
Exactly.
With all the life experiences, lived experiences.
Yeah. So this concept of work, we need to work out why we're doing this thing.
Yeah. It's a beautiful... I'm so comfortable talking the things that we're discussing here.
Same.
Because I understand where you're coming from, your journey, and I really value the work you're doing because it's much needed.
Thank you.
Your work is much needed in today's day and age, and especially in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm really happy there is someone like you who's doing this work. And there is this segment too.
Yes.
Segment 3, where I was going to talk about ways to change the workplace podcast.
Yes.
From one podcast host to other.
Leslie, I know.
I love your podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, again, I don't know where you get the title ideas. Ways to change the workplace. Wow. Such a beautiful word.
I'll tell you, I'll answer that one.
Yeah.
I want to change the world, as you've probably heard. I feel a lot. I feel a lot of social injustice, but there's only one me.
Yeah.
And there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I can't do everything, but I can impact the workplace. I know I can. I believe in myself.
Yeah.
I've learned all of the good stuff. Yeah.
Knowing your strengths is the first beginning. Yeah.
So I can change the workplace. And I actually started my podcast, Neelima, from a greedy perspective because I wanted to speak to the world's best thinkers, read their books and, pass that knowledge on. And I'm really mindful also, Neelima, that not everyone can afford to work with me as well, which is fine. Absolutely. That's how it is. Yeah. But I want to give back. And so much of what I learn on the job, that could be a podcast idea,
Yeah.
I could talk to that person.
Share
I
this
can talk to that
information
person.
with other people, they'll benefit from it.
Yeah, so that's my pass it on kind of thing. Yeah.
So lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's how I found you.
Oh, really? Wow. Was there a specific topic that you listened to?
Yeah, one of the topics you recently talked about gut instinct.
With Dr. Vish, yes.
Yeah, I heard that.
Isn't she brilliant?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's very good. It's about your intuition and trusting your gut and making the right decisions.
Yeah.
And how the mind, body, and heart are all connected. The decision first happens in the heart, and then it travels to the brain, and then that's where you make the decision. I didn't know about all these things. Some crazy stuff.
I learned so much, right? Exactly. And I speak to so many amazing people, and I learn I love learning. I need to learn. I need to keep my brain fed, and I want to pass it on as well. So I've got Neelima. I've got podcast topics which are like working with brilliant jerks, you get brilliant idiots in the workplace. How do we work with them? Performance management and changing the way we do performance management. The various conversations with Dr. Vish as well, from a neuroscience perspective about our brain and why we do things as well. I'm constantly learning. There was a really interesting podcast I especially learned from Dr. Mikey Niehaus, and she's in Brisbane. And that episode is about toxic positivity.
Okay.
Now, I am a positive person. I've really learned not to overdo it with positivity as well, because that can verge on the side. We can go to toxic positivity then from that perspective. And, emotions are data, all of that kind of stuff. So there's always constant learning that I have that, I pass back through my podcast.
How long have you been podcasting, and how's your experience been?
Oh, my God.
Any highlights you'd like to share?
I've been podcasting since, I think, 2021 or 22.
Wow.
Yeah, when I wrote my book in 2024, I stopped. I've got something like 178 episodes now. Yeah, and every week it happens. Every week I do a podcast episode. so many highlights. Oh gosh, I've spoken to the
Some
world's
brilliant
best.
people. You've spoken to
Amazing people.
CEOs.
All sorts, you name it.
Yeah, even on other countries. You've interviewed people worldwide.
Yeah.
I'm so
Thank you.
inspired by your journey. I hope I can get to at least 1/4 the journey of where you got to.
You know, you will. But you know what? I think, I'm sure with you as well, podcasting does something to you which is really challenging. So as a result, I bet you, you've done this with me. You have to put yourself out there. You've got to reach out to strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah? So that's a big challenge itself. And you've got to show appreciation of them. You've got to do your research on them.
Yeah.
So, like you said, in terms of introducing people, it's really important.
Yeah.
Well, if you do research on them, you already know me. You know so many elements about me, which is why we can have a deep conversation.
Exactly, yeah. It's not on the surface level, but we can connect at the deepest level.
Connection.
Which is where the authentic stories come out.
Yeah. And I met with my mentor yesterday. His name's Alan. He's, this chief person within the Western Australian Police Force. And he was my mentor, gosh, in 2013. I'm still holding on to him. I still call him my mentor, even though the program's finished. But yesterday we were talking about the fact that even within a workplace perspective, we don't get to have this kind of conversation.
Yeah, not open
Real
and transparent.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm trying to break that. So when I go into workplaces, the kind of team connection sessions that I hold, they are amazing. We have the deepest conversations. Now, you as a leader might not be able to have them because you've got that hierarchy hat on, you've got the positional power.
You have your boundaries. Yeah.
You've got your own boundaries. Therefore, people bring me in. And the kind of conversations that people have are something else. And the kind of connection that they have afterwards as well, Neelima, I am humbled.
Yeah.
I had some amazing recent feedback yesterday or the day before. It made me cry. It was just so beautiful. The way that teams really, if they take this stuff on, it's after I've left the room, that's when the magic happens. It's after the workshop, yeah? They'll learn.
That's where you leave your legacy, right?
Yeah.
People are talking about it. People are
embracing
it.
Yeah.
Putting it into practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I feel like I know you. I feel like you're my soul sister.
There you go. I've written a thing in your book that I've gifted you. So, dear Neelima, they say that strangers are friends yet to be made. I reckon that's you.
Thank you.
There you go. Snap.
Thank you
back
so
at
much.
you.
Makes me cry now.
Perfect.
Good. So I'll move to my next segment of questions.
Yes.
We talk so much about and this is all the first introduction statement. I said most of us have two lives, the life that we live and the unlived life. This phrase is stolen from your book.
Yeah. Yep.
So I wanted to put your words into my introduction, not my own. So
amazing.
This phrase was from your book. We talked a bit about the work and the lived life. Let's now go to the other side, the unlived life and the purpose.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think? How can we embrace the unlived life and find purpose?
Start from the beginning. Don't. Okay, so when I talk about, my book is called Make Work Meaningful, How to Create a Culture That Leaves a Legacy. Neelima, can I ask you, what does legacy mean to you in terms of that word? What kind of connotations does it have for you?
Legacy is how people will remember me after I've left the room.
After you've left the room. So now, okay, beautiful. Yeah. Other people think legacy, oh my God, but I don't need to think about that yet. I need to think about legacy until, when I retire near my deathbed. No. You leave a legacy every frigging day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so that's the agency that you have.
Yeah.
So it's reminding people that they have agency as well. Yeah. And that, going back to that quote, most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life. So if we look at the life that we live, if you're just being a robot and doing the whole thing and going through your career, you've got that potential yearning in, your soul is missing something.
Yeah.
That's the unlived life.
Yeah, the untapped potential.
Untapped potential, right?
Yeah.
So this podcast you're doing, is it a part of work or is it a part of your own passion?
It's my untapped potential.
You're doing whatever the hell you want to,
yeah?
To feed your soul.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is going to help you even more from a career perspective.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit. Someday when I'm on the other side of this table, when someone's interviewing me, maybe I'll go a bit more in detail, but I'll tell you.
You're coming on my podcast, my friend, yes.
I'll tell you two lines. Whenever my voice has been silenced, I feel like I need to bounce back even more.
Yes.
Whenever people criticize my accent,
Yeah.
whenever people say, I don't understand what you're saying, can you repeat yourself? I repeat myself 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. I'm being mocked at the team meeting. I do understand what's going on, but I just choose to keep quiet and get along with my work duties. But I chose to create a platform for myself where I can talk, I have my voice, and I'm not silenced.
No.
I can make a mistake. I can laugh at myself.
Yeah.
I can pronounce a word in a different way that people are not used to. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's my authentic self. I don't need to apologize for what I'm doing to
Gorgeous.
anybody. I'm living my life on my own terms.
Yeah.
And that's me.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this podcast isn't only for you. Every single person that's listening to it are going to get something or the other from it as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
So that's why I bring leaders like you who have a lot of depth. It's not just at the surface level. The work you do is at the core.
Totally.
Trying to change the culture of the organization, not just talk about it, but just go into the organizations and understand. Like you said, most of them are confidential. You're not able to share. But I know the kind of work you do, and it's going to stir up the entire organization
And it does.
challenge them to rethink the way they're operating.
Exactly, because we know work isn't working.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
I mean, you talked about the pandemic.
Yeah.
All of us had some form of an existential crisis or another, during the pandemic within ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we had that connection to the workplace as well. So our psychological contract to the workplace has now very much changed. So this job description, Neelima, it doesn't mean as much as this psychological contract.
Yeah.
That is the more powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the missing piece that workplaces haven't considered yet. And that's how I weave it in, you know?
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to do what you do.
Thank
Do
you.
you have any challenges in doing this work that you're doing? What is the downside of this profession?
Oh, challenges and the downside. Challenges, mental challenges. Every single organization or person that I work with big organizations, they have their challenges that they impose upon me. My challenge is to understand it well enough to tailor my brain and my services to that thing. So mine isn't a vanilla cookie cutter model.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Challenge and question their
But that's the mental
values. Yeah.
I love the mental challenge, you know? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything hard in my business? Yeah. I do a podcast. I'm the chief financial officer. I'm marketing. I'm this, I'm that. I'm everything. There's only one of me. I outsource work every now and then when I need to, marketing, that kind of stuff. But the delivery, the whole business is me, Prina Shah Consulting. There's only one me.
Yeah.
That's the challenge as well.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
So
thing.
you have to do everything yourself.
Yes. From an energy perspective.
I'll have to learn from you how to do that.
Or how not to. Exactly.
All right, that's such a great perspective. I know there's always two sides to a story.
Always,
the good side and also the challenging side. So I
Yeah.
thought I'll explore that a bit more.
Good question.
Thank you. So I introduced a special segment, which is normally not in my podcast format. I introduced a special segment called Advice, only for you.
Especially for me.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's only specially for me,
Yes.
you. Sorry, from me.
Yes.
I have to get your advice on 2 points.
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay. One is a leadership advice question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, we all know that networking is very important in order to get some opportunities. We need to be networking at work, have allies at work, friends at work. But we also know that we should have some good boundaries. So my question to you is, how do we network and have support from people at work while maintaining your boundaries?
How do we network and get support while maintaining boundaries?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, tough one. Okay. How do we network while maintaining boundaries? Okay. I've spoken to a CEO whose brain I really love. Anthony Vuletta is his name. And he's the CEO of Kalamunda Council at the moment. One thing I learned from him is, from a networking perspective and boundaries perspective, You can't be friends, but you can be friendly.
Oh, that's a great
right?
sentence,
Because one of the big things that when I walk into a room, if people have shared too much about themselves, there's this messy area, okay?
Yeah, they're perceived as weak.
Perceived as weak, but sometimes as well, Neelima, there's Neelima at home and there's Neelima at work.
Yeah, it's two
and we
different
need to keep them
personalities.
separate.
Yeah, two personalities.
Personalities are separate. So while we talk about being our authentic self, I kind of question that as well, because your authentic self at work is different to your authentic self at home, all of that kind of stuff, yeah? So going back to we can be friendly but not friends. So my own example, when I led HR teams, like big HR teams, and we made amazing progress within the workplace to find ways to change the workplace when I was in my corporate land. I used to tell my whole team, I am absolutely going to be friendly with you. I think you are brilliant. I'm going to develop you. I am there for you. Okay, so let's be honest with each other. But we're not going to be friends.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I need to have this boundary with you, because one day I might have to have a difficult conversation with you.
Yeah.
I might have to do whatever else. Okay? However, when I leave, we can be friends. That's it. So when I leave, okay, open up my social media channels, all of that kind of stuff. But I think there's an element of, yes, authentic self, but there's boundaries.
Yeah.
So
boundaries.
Friends versus friendly.
Yeah.
I think that's a biggie.
Having healthy boundaries.
Yeah. You know.
Nice. Thank you. You answered it very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my second question is about unconscious bias, right?
Okay.
I faced it a lot of times.
Yeah.
People have certain notions, perceptions, stereotype, especially, I don't know about other communities, but with women of color.
Yeah.
Normally, whenever I am at like a group setting, people only talk to me about cooking. Oh, you're a good cook. I have so much to offer in my project management area.
Wow.
So again, the way someone introduces me, she's a good cook. I mean, there's no offense in being a good cook, but I have other skill sets, other personalities.
More to that,
Yeah, so why wouldn't you discuss about my other aspects, my other highlights in my career? I've offered so much to this organization. Why isn't that talked about? So this unconscious bias.
Yeah.
So how do women of color manage unconscious bias when they have to face it every single day? I'm giving you some tough questions.
Neelima, you're putting me on this. You need to come on my podcast next. Okay, I'll give it back. Now, okay, let me tell you what I do in that sense. I am very mindful when I'm on the stage. People look at me and think, who's that brown girl? What is she? Where's she from? All of those questions. We will have unconscious bias, whether you're white, brown, yellow, whatever. We will have unconscious biases, yeah. I call it out first and foremost. So my opening slide is, hi, I'm Prina Shah. I was born in Kenya. So I'll do the acknowledgement, but I won't actually talk to the acknowledgement of country that we do in Australia, which I think is so beautiful.
Yeah.
But the way that
the country, yeah.
You know, and the way that I do that is I will let you read this slide at your leisure. But in terms of me, hi, my name is Prina Shah. And I'll say it like that, not Prina Shah, not the accent way, not the Western accent, but Prina Shah is my name. I was born in Kenya. Brought up in the UK. I fell in love with an Australian. I have followed the colonies all around the world. My mum says I'm a good cook. I'm taking that. An Indian woman saying I'm a good cook.
Yeah.
I also love a good bad joke. So let's have
Humor
a good
side,
time.
yeah.
Let's have a good time today. So I'll answer all of those questions that they have,
Yeah.
you know, thinking in their minds, who is she? What kind of background does she have?
Yeah.
I'll even say, yes, I'm Gujarati. So if there's, depending on how many people are in the room,
Yeah.
lay it out there.
Yeah. What about the stereotyping though?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I've had that in my career as well. Yeah. I have been the token brownie, I tell you. Especially in the UK days and especially my early days. So I was posted in magazines. I was a token brownie, let's be honest. To that I had to really work on myself to say, okay, now I'm the passenger here and I am being used from a marketing perspective. Am I okay with this? Will it help me to become a driver? Yes.
It's, a little bit sidetracking. It's got nothing to do with this conversation, but you know the Chanel model Bhavita Mandava?
No? I need to.
She's a Indian origin. I think she's an architect, but she's been like a chance discovery at the subway station.
Cool.
And she's been given the opportunity to walk the Chanel show.
Wow.
And that's created a lot of drama, saying, "Oh, she's only been given that opportunity because they want to tick that box."
She's
saying,
brown.
Diversity.
I want to
sort
talk
of
about.
thing. Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I have many talents.
Exactly.
I am a model, and I really can carry this on. I can carry this off, and this is I'm an architect.
Yep.
I'm an Indian origin girl, and I can also do this.
Yep.
So why do you not buy that? Why do you think they're only taking me or they're only giving me this opportunity because I'm a brown girl?"
Okay. Let's reverse this now. A lot of this, I heard you explaining that the model is explaining and justifying this and justifying herself. And a lot of us feel like that. I felt like that in my past career as well, that we have to justify ourselves for being at this table, for having a frigging seat at this table. I changed my way near the end of my career. So I am going to quote Pauline Hanson, the racist politician. I am going to use her words. So when people have unconscious bias towards me, "Oh, Prina's a good cook, that's what she does." My response to them may well be, "Please explain," Pauline Hanson's words. And then I will shush. Okay? So in a corporate setting, you've just described me as being a good cook. Please explain. They can explain, "Oh, she's a good cook because of blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, putting them on the spot.
Put them on the spot. But then silence is your friend as well.
Yeah,
okay?
just being... that's what I normally do.
Yeah.
And I don't... Because I choose my battles wisely.
Yes.
I don't think there is a need to respond to every comment.
No way. No, but some comments, though, they have to be questioned. And using Pauline Hanson's disgusting language, but I don't like her whatsoever because she's so frigging racist. But please explain, I think, are two very important words.
Please explain.
And then you shush and watch them squirm. Watch them answer.
Wow.
I think so.
Wow.
Use the racist words against the racists. Fuck them. Pardon the French.
This is very powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Let me cheer you up a little bit. We'll go to a rapid fire round.
Oh, okay.
Pressure. So you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you this question, but just only in one word.
This is hard. I don't have one word.
I didn't show you any questions for this.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do it.
Cool. So one word for workplace culture today.
Hopeful.
Ah, it's interesting. You think it's hopeful? It's getting hopeful or it is already hopeful?
The people that I'm working with, I'm telling you, they give a crap. That there are people out there, honestly so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing it.
I'm very happy to hear that.
They are. They're doing it.
Great. All right. The next question. A quality you think every leader must have?
A quality that every leader must have. Let me think about this one. 2 words. Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Wow. Yeah. Very good.
We need to look in the mirror more.
Yeah.
Me included.
Being
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us. Yeah.
Excellent. It's a great answer. Okay. One thing you think people need more at work today? People need to bring more at work today.
We need better connection from everything that I'm seeing. Neelima, oh my God. So even let's connection. Do you want me to expand?
No,
I'm a talker.
Go for it.
Can I talk?
Yeah, so the word is connection, the one word. So okay, I'll
and
give you a point for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can extend on that. Yeah.
Neelima, if you think about it, you go to work, you do this, the other person does this, the other person does this, the other person does this. But you're called a team. How often do teams connect? How often do branches connect properly? How often does the organization connect properly, meaningfully?
They're all siloed.
Siloed.
Yeah.
And there's a loneliness epidemic out there in the world. It's being brought into the workplace. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I always talk about the fact that what happens outside comes inside, what happens inside goes outside as well.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Two-way, yeah.
Let's open our eyes. We need to connect better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you're up to your last 2 questions in
I'm
the
loving
rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. One word for success.
Legacy.
You're going to be in trouble now because I have the next question.
Oh.
One word for legacy.
Significance.
Wow. Excellence.
And significance means different things to you, to me, to everyone else, yeah?
Yeah.
That's really tapping into you.
Yeah.
What the workplace doesn't allow, I feel.
Yeah. So not just success, but having a significant value.
Yeah.
Cool. You've done really well.
Whoa.
On the rapid fire.
Amazing.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you done the rapid fire before?
Never.
No?
Never. And I like to be prepared with all of my notes and stuff. I'm the one interviewing you, G, so thank you.
No, it's been
I'm in good
wonderful.
hands.
It's been wonderful talking to you, and I enjoyed myself so much.
Same.
There is so much value in this half an hour, 1 hour discussion. I don't have the track of time, but I feel like we've just started and we're almost up to the close. But there is a lot more. I know that you have a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, and I'm sure I'll bring you back in someday to have a further extended conversation with you.
I'd be delighted.
Thank you so much, Prina. I have my closing note written down here.
Yes.
Okay, so as we close today's episode with Prina Shah, I'd like to share some of my reflections. First thing being, your past does not have to define your future. Your story, Prina, is a wonderful example how you have taken your pain and transformed not just your life, but people's life, organizations, cultures, and created a positive change. You are a positive change and role model. And I am so happy that we have people like you in this world.
Oh, back at you. I want to hug you in a sec.
Yeah. I will. All right, so I'm sure so many people listening today will reflect on their careers. After this 1 hour conversation, please do question yourself. Are you bringing your authentic self? Think about your careers in a different way. Think about the ripple effects that they're creating on your families when you take your stress and trauma back home, and likewise. So like Prina just mentioned, it's both ways, not just one. And thank you for sharing your wisdom, Prina, your lived experience, and your vision for creating beautiful workplaces. Not just successful, but just having a remarkable, significant places for all of us in this world.
Wow.
And to everyone listening, if this episode resonated with you, and if you'd like to support my podcast, I am a self-employed sole business owner, so I really need your support. Please visit my Buy Me a Coffee page, and you can contribute in any way that you can. That will be very much appreciated. Thank you. And if you have a powerful story, if you'd like to be heard on my podcast, please reach out to me. The subtitles will have my email and all the social handles. Feel free to reach out. Thank you. Good night. Signing off.